Key developments in the Russia-Ukraine war on February 16. Russia accuses Ukraine of staging an attack on the Chernobyl nuclear power plant. Russia said on February 14 that Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky's accusation that a Russian drone attacked the Chernobyl nuclear power plant was a provocation, staged by Kiev to urge the West to send more aid. Earlier, President Zelensky claimed that a Russian drone had caused significant damage to the Chernobyl plant's dome, but that radiation levels were normal. The incident occurred as senior officials from the US, Ukraine and Europe gathered at the Munich Security Conference, Germany, to discuss the conflict in Ukraine. Commenting on Mr. Zelensky's accusation, Russian Foreign Ministry spokeswoman Maria Zakharova accused Kiev of staging the drone attack to coincide with the Munich conference, as part of a lobbying effort to seek more weapons and money from the West. Ukrainian president sets conditions for negotiations with Mr. Putin. Speaking at the Munich Security Conference on February 14, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky said that President Putin was the only Russian official with whom he was willing to negotiate. The Ukrainian leader also ruled out any form of participation by other representatives of Moscow. President Zelensky stressed that after Ukraine, the United States and the European Union, EU, come up with a common plan, he will sit down with President Putin and end the conflict. In addition, he will not accept any compromise agreements and expressed hope that US President Donald Trump will stand by Ukraine and actually help the country instead of just being an intermediary. According to the head of Ukraine, a peace deal can only be about a plan to end the conflict and must be supported by Ukraine and President Donald Trump. You can't sign a peace deal in Munich because it's Munich. We remember what was signed there. I won't repeat it, Zelensky added, referring to the Munich meeting when Germany, Britain, France and Italy reached an agreement allowing Germany to annex the Sudetenland. Ukrainian president refuses to sign rare earths deal with the US. In a post on social network X on February 14, Washington Post journalist Josh Rogin revealed, "Many officials in Munich told me that the US congressional delegation gave Mr. Zelensky a document they wanted him to sign, which gave the US the right to 50% of Ukraine's future mineral reserves. But Mr. Zelensky politely refused to sign this document." Reuters, citing unnamed members of the Ukrainian delegation at the Munich Security Conference, reported a similar story. The meeting between the Ukrainian leader and a bipartisan group of US lawmakers reportedly lasted 90 minutes. Zelensky felt he was being asked to sign a document that he had not yet read. The news agency reported, two sources described the proposal as one-sided, with Kiev still needing to work out some details. Europe quietly prepares for Ukraine plan, worried that the United States will prioritize other parts of the world. A group of European countries has quietly drawn up plans to send troops into Ukraine to help enforce any future peace deal with Russia. Britain and France are leading the effort, although few details have been released. The countries involved in the process do not want to reveal their intentions and give Russian President Vladimir Putin an advantage if Moscow agrees to negotiate an end to the conflict. I won't go into specific possibilities, but I agree that if there is to be peace, there needs to be some security guarantees for Ukraine, and the UK will play a role in that. British Prime Minister Keir Starmer said, "No." In his speech on February 13, Mr. Zelensky admitted that Ukraine would have a hard time surviving without US military support. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky admitted that it would be difficult for Ukraine to survive without US military support in the latest interview. In an interview with NBC News on February 15 on the sidelines of the Munich Security Conference, Germany, Mr. Zelensky said that Ukraine would have a hard time surviving against Russian attacks without US military help. It would be very, very, very difficult. Of course, in any difficult situation, you still have a chance. But we would have very little chance to survive without US support. I believe that is very important, President Zelensky said, emphasizing that he did not want to think about fighting Russia without US support and the prospect of no longer being Washington's strategic partner.